Amazon is probably going to have its own blockchain that I think the biggest thing is tracking for logistics. So there's a project out there called VeChain.
If someone starting today had $50,000 and they're thinking, okay, should I start an Amazon business or should I invest in crypto? What are your thoughts around Ecom versus crypto, and which one's got more like long-term stability?
I think that Bitcoin is going to go up to about...
You know, we're seeing large organizations develop their own coin. Do you foresee a day where Amazon and Shopify will accept Bitcoin as a currency, or do you think they're going to develop their own thing?
The people that don't understand crypto, they don't understand those two things, and that's usually why they say it has no value.
You've been involved in it since like 2013, so a good like 8 years now. Where do you see it going in the next 8 years? Hey guys, welcome back to the official Sourcing with Kian YouTube channel. Today we've got a very, very special episode for you guys. We're going to divulge a little bit out of sourcing and we're going to move more into crypto, which is why I brought on my good friend Jeff Seckinger, who is a crypto and finance expert. I've been following a lot of his content on YouTube. Definitely check him out. Jeff Seckinger on YouTube. He puts out some fantastic information regarding the crypto market. And Jeff and I actually met at an event in LA probably a couple of years ago. We both spoke at the same event, and just since then followed each other on social media. We see what each other's up to, and I see he puts out a lot of fantastic content. So I was like, you know what, I need to address the whole crypto situation in relation to e-commerce. Who better to bring on the channel than Jeff? So Jeff, welcome. Thank you very much for joining the channel today and taking the time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So we are in Miami, Florida, in your office here, which is the 0% office / Orca Capital office. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've got going on here, what sort of operation you have, and a little bit of a background on yourself as well.
Yeah, so for those that don't know me, I'm 28 years old. Like you mentioned, I used to live in San Diego about a year ago, and I moved to Florida, both the business to Florida. But before that, I went through public education, got my finance degree, worked for JP Morgan in asset management for 2 years. I got my licenses like Series 7, 66, and then just realized that I didn't want to work in corporate. And I actually bought Bitcoin back in 2013, and then just straight speculation, sold it a year later in 14 when the market rose again. And then in 2017, I started to get heavily back into the space when I was actually working for the biggest bank in the United States, and I realized that when Bitcoin went from, the previous high was 1,100 to 20 grand, I was like, all right, this is not a trend and a fad anymore, and this is going to be something big. So I ended up leaving corporate in 2018 and then started 0%.com. It's a financial education and consulting company. We primarily help entrepreneurs start and scale with low interest, business credit, and different types of capital. And now about half of the business is actually crypto education. So 0% actually stands for the type of interest that our clients pay on their debt for at least a year to 2 years. And then Orca Capital is a long-short hedge fund. So I started that business April 30th, 2019. Been out for over 30 months now, and we have about 195 limited partners and about 55 million under management, and that business has grown really, really quickly. And 0% has about 45 employees. Orca's a little bit more lean, and I'm just super pumped to talk to you guys about crypto today. That's pretty much all I do nowadays.
Nice.
So I'm pumped.
Jeff is just appeared on the Mayor of Miami's podcast, which I'll link in the description down below. Definitely check that out as well. And I also sort of view Jeff as crypto's Nostradamus, because when I watch his videos, whatever he says comes true a few days later. There was one video I was watching about a month ago where I think Bitcoin was going up, and you're like, actually I don't think this is going to last that long if you're holding on to it. I think we're going to see a short dip. This might be a good time to sell. And I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of liking it right now. And then 3 or 4 days later, it actually dipped. I was like, okay, great. And then the other thing was, I think a video I watched a couple of weeks ago is that you were saying by Terra Luna, this is really artificially low. It's about $25. You should definitely get in at the moment. And then I was like, yeah, okay, I'll check it out. I'll jump into it. And then I didn't. And then it went up to like 42, 45, like about a week later. So at that moment, I was like, right, I'm just going to listen to everything Jeff says and follow his advice. So definitely check his YouTube channel out to learn more. But just as a broad like overview of the crypto market, right? You've been involved in it since like 2013, so a good like 8 years now. Where do you see it going in the next 8 years? Like, we're obviously in very crazy times and it's quite volatile, but eventually it's got to stabilize. Do you see this growth continuing, or it's going to plateau, or we're just at the beginning of it? Like, what's your vision for the next 8 years?
Yeah, so at the time of this recording, we are at, let's see like what Bitcoin's at least, so people have an idea. Like Solana's at $240 and Bitcoin is at, let's see what it's at, 63,000. So I think that Bitcoin is going to go up to about 175 to 180 grand per coin by the end of this cycle, which we think is in the next 2 to 6 months. And today is what? It's the November 3rd. So I think it's likely to end in Q1 of next year. So if you guys are new to crypto, historically the entire market is operated on Bitcoin's halving cycle. It's disinflationary, which means that it does inflate. It actually produces some type of a supply from people mining it, but it releases 900 Bitcoin a day today, and every 4 years it cuts its supply in half. So we've seen historically 3 years of a bull market, 1 year of a bear market. And thus far, we've been, and what happens is, obviously the bear market is when the price is dropping, then it bottoms, and then we have about 3 years of a nice bull market. We have like 2 years it kind of goes up, and then the last year, and especially the last 3 months of that last year, it's exponential growth. And that's what we're now starting to see right now. We heated up really quickly at the beginning of this bull market. We had a nice sell-off event because the market was over leveraged, and then we went from 28 grand to now 63 grand in literally a matter of like 2 months. So I think that we're still not even at the most explosive time. So to kind of summarize your question, I think we've got a lot of growth in the next 2 to 6 months. In cryptocurrency, we're at like a $2.7 trillion market cap right now, and I think we're going to go somewhere between 7 and 10 trillion. So that's all of the money in crypto, right? That's where I think it's going to go this cycle. And then I think we're going to far exceed that into the next cycle, because we're just starting to see institutions adopting it, countries using it as a currency. People are starting to understand what blockchain and cryptography are, because that's actually what makes crypto valuable. The people that don't understand crypto, they don't understand those two things, and that's usually why they say it has no value. So I think that long term, we've got a massive asset class. I'm talking about like tens and tens, if not hundreds of trillions of dollars coming into this. Even the World Economic Forum says in 2025 it's going to be worth 12.7 trillion, right? And I just said it's at like 2.7 trillion, right? So even some really respected organizations and people are saying that it's going to absolutely blow up. And the reason is because crypto is just, the reason why it has value is because it transfers value and it transfers data securely, right? And efficiently. So it can remove a bunch of central power. So if you can think of any industry that needs to transfer data and value, well, that's pretty much everything. So that's really exciting. And then I think this whole metaverse thing that's happening now, I think that's going to be bigger than we even think. And crypto is going to play a really big piece in that.
For sure. And one of the things I find really interesting is that like people who are investing in crypto, depending on when they invest, are getting rich like pretty quickly. And I come from an e-commerce background, a sourcing manufacturing background, and we sell on Amazon, we sell on Shopify, we sell to retailers, and that's generally like, it takes a while to build wealth, right? Mm-hmm. You have to invest in product, you have to develop products, sometimes things go wrong, finance your customers, all that sort of stuff. Sometimes retailers don't pay you on time. So it's actually a grind to actually make a significant amount of money, whereas in crypto, people are making money very quickly with relative ease as well. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a mix of like luck, timing, and also just investing in the market at the right time. So what would be your advice to people who are involved in e-commerce? They're selling on Amazon. they've got a bit of money at the side that they want to invest, do you think that, you know, they should be paying more attention to crypto and investing more into that, or focusing more on building their e-commerce business? Or if someone starting today had $50,000 and they're thinking, okay, should I start an Amazon business or should I invest in crypto? What are your thoughts around ecom versus crypto, and which one's got more like long-term stability, and what's your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think that it all depends on where we're at in this cycle. So it depends on when you guys are watching this video. But to be honest, I always, and we consult like thousands of clients too. So we have like coaching programs and stuff. So I get these types of questions all the time. And when we even do this with the capital that we're able to get entrepreneurs, which is usually between like 50 and 150 grand to start a business. And that, I always recommend putting it back into their business. So I believe in investing back in your business until you literally don't know where to put any more money. And then you can go make outside investments that you don't control. But if you look at the wealthiest people in the world, they put money into things that they can control first. And then after that, then they go ahead and make these other investments. So like, if you're early stage in business, you should be dumping everything you can back into education, back into connections, back into, learning the sourcing game, back into anything that's going to allow you to scale the business, because that's a skill that you can continually duplicate over and over again that's going to pay you for the rest of your life. And then once you're getting paid for the rest of your life and you're making exponentially more money, so much money you don't know what to do with, then you start to put into crypto and real estate and these different things. So I think, from a principle standpoint, you should always be investing back in yourself and your business first. And then once you're like, well, I don't know where to put this money, then you start to put it into crypto.
Interesting. And you have a lot of entrepreneurs like within your inner circle as well. So guys, if anyone's actually interested in where to park their cash in terms of crypto, definitely check out Jeff's links in the description down below, whether that's investing in his fund, or if you need capital, which he can help you with, or if you just want some more knowledge on crypto, you can definitely join his inner circle or watch his YouTube channel, and all of that will be linked down in the description of the video below. So what's your take on Amazon and Shopify's adoption of crypto? Because they've not really made an announcement yet, and we're seeing large organizations develop their own coin. Do you foresee a day where Amazon and Shopify will accept Bitcoin as a currency, or do you think they're going to develop their own thing? Or where do you see the market going in terms of e-commerce and crypto sort of coming together?
Yeah, there's a lot of not a ton, but there's definitely a fair amount. Like this coin, SPI, is literally called shopping. It's already starting to happen, like for e-commerce. You guys can go look it up on CoinMarketCap or wherever. But I think that crypto is going to play a major part, because it transfers data and value, and that's ultimately what people are doing. You guys are providing value in a business, and you're getting value in return, right? So you're delivering an item that has value to that person. They're delivering you value back, but it's in the form of fiat currency, likely, right? So now the whole world is starting to change because we printed so much money, and everyone's realizing inflation is real, and they're really printing this money to devalue their debt, and at the same time, it's at the cost of us. So a lot of people are starting to put money into crypto that's on a protocol that actually we know for a fact how much supply is going to be released. So I think it's going to be a massive impact in ecom, and I think that's if someone's looking at a niche to be in, I think that's a great niche to be in if you can help the industry start to adopt it. As far as Amazon and Shopify, I think Shopify is likely to use, and I don't know everything, like you guys are probably way smarter than me with ecom, but like Amazon is probably going to have its own blockchain that I think the biggest thing is tracking for logistics. So there's a project out there called VeChain, and they specifically do like logistics tracking on a blockchain. And I think that Amazon is either likely to maybe use someone like that, but they're kind of a monopoly almost, so they'll probably do it themselves. And the reason why, this is what people don't understand, the reason why you have to have a cryptocurrency, or most do on a blockchain, is because every transaction generates some type of a fee, right? So there's usually a native coin on the blockchain, and every transaction that's generated, it's using that native coin as a fee, right, to pay for that fee for that transaction. And that's typically why there's a cryptocurrency on top of a blockchain, and they work together. But blockchain is the open accounting book that stores all of the transactions behind the scenes. The cryptocurrency that's what's used to pay for the transactions. So I think it's pretty much a guarantee that Amazon and Shopify are going to have some type of a blockchain, whether they make it public or not, where you can literally go buy their coin. I think that determines what happens with regulation over the next 5 years. But there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, they're going to start accepting crypto for payments. I think the only thing that is likely a question is which crypto are they going to accept. I think Bitcoin could become the standard because there's a Lightning network out where you can now literally, like El Salvador is using this, and you can go look up the Lightning network. There's exponential growth. There's more people in El Salvador using Bitcoin wallets than there is bank accounts now.
Wow.
So you can literally go pay for a cup of coffee at Starbucks in a fraction of a second with Bitcoin. If you look on Twitter, if you're sending money through people or to people, that's actually running through the Lightning network, which is it converts your fiat currency to Bitcoin and then back into whatever fiat currency you're sending it to. So it's already happening. I think it's likely they'll probably use Bitcoin because there's no company behind it, and if they don't, they're likely to create their own blockchain and crypto once they have some regulatory clarity.
Awesome. And moving topics slightly, I think you're very, very strong in your personal brand in terms of you put out a lot of fantastic content on YouTube, you put out a lot of valuable information on Instagram, you host a lot of different events, you're very, very active in the community, and I think that just generally builds up like credibility for who you are and what you do, so anyone who's looking to invest gets a good idea of like who you are as a person, and I follow those principles as well in terms of putting out as much content as I can on YouTube, so whoever wants to work with me gets an idea of who I am as a person. So but you've done such a good job of it, like what's been your mindset in terms of building personal brand, and what sort of has that done for you in your career, and how important do you think it is for anyone, whatever industry they're in, who wants to develop a personal brand? Maybe what's some advice you have for people growing their own personal brand?
Go read Crush It by Gary Vee. Start making your brand about something you actually care about, because if you start to talk about things you don't actually care about, there's no way you're going to shoot this amount of content. Right, so you got to be, branding yourself. If we're talking business, it's got to be about something you care about. You need to be as genuine as possible, so as open and honest. I have told everything about my life previous and to where I'm at now, so there's literally nothing anyone could possibly say that's like, I cannot be blindsided, because I'm completely transparent and open and honest with my entire life. So I feel very comfortable talking at any given point because everything's already out there. I think a lot of people try to hide behind certain insecurities, right? And that's gonna limit you from creating content, because unconsciously you like think about that type of stuff before you're shooting content, which creates some type of self-doubt, and people can ultimately see that you don't have like conviction in shooting content. So I'm really a huge fan of just being transparent and open and honest. And look, if people don't like you for who you are, then they weren't even meant to be in your life to begin with. And if they like you a lot, great, cool. But if not, it's like there's probably millions of other people that can relate to you. And I can tell you, when I like told my entire story of my life and where I came from, a lot of people have had a lot of respect. And actually, we just got our biggest investor. Like, they're literally going to double our AUM, which is assets under management. And one of the first things he mentioned, actually the number one thing he said, is the reason why we're doing this is because we believe in you, because you've been so transparent and open, and I really respect like your story, right? So I was really scared to share my story, but it's literally about to double like our business. So I think that's really, really important. I think it's attracted a lot of great people in my life. And then just consistency. I mean, you're already seeing it with your YouTube channel. We were just talking about this earlier. It's not even for, if you're doing it to make money, that's cool, that's fine, but you're going to get way more value than you'll ever imagine from building your own brand, because there's so much other things that you could potentially need. Like, I get offered all types of things for free, to go to this restaurant, to go to this event, to speak here. If I need to hire employees, I literally just posted the job posting, and we have 15,000 people view it and hundreds of people apply for it in literally 24 hours. Literally anything you need, because attention, data is really valuable. Attention is super valuable as well. And if you have attention, which is what you build through a brand, and you build trust and credibility, then you can do pretty much anything with that. So I think it's pretty much a no-brainer for anyone. And obviously content is not going to slow down. We're moving into a digital era. But those are probably the number one recommendations I could make right off the rip.
That was actually a great answer and exactly the answer I was hoping for. So thanks very much for going into so much detail there.
Yeah.
Just to sort of like finalize, what made you want to start a fund? Because you're obviously very good at what you do, and you could have been like, right, okay, I'm just going to invest my own money. I'm going to, try these different things. I'm going to make a bit of money. But you actually make a lot of money for a lot of people as a result of now accepting investment as well. So like, what's your personal goals, your personal ambition, and what made you want to, start this company and develop your own fund?
Yeah, so it's that you mentioned you could do it for yourself. That's actually why I did it to start. So I have my business partner, right? So when you create a fund, you have general partners. Okay, so I'm a GP. I have one other business partner. He's the GP, right? And I've known him since middle school, and he's been a trader ever since I've literally known him. So as we progressed, went through college, went into corporate, I reached out to him to actually say, hey man, do you want to manage some of my money? Because he just is a beast trader. And he was like, yeah, but I can't do that legally. We'd have to start a fund. I'm like, well, we should, since we're talking about crypto every day, why don't we just literally start a fund? I'll put some money with you. You can put some of your money in there as well. We'll prove a track record in 2019. If we prove the concept and returns, then we could always raise money in the future. So that's what we did, is we started the fund really for ourselves, and then it was like, well, we'll turn into a business if we prove the concept, and we did. And what I've realized is crypto has so much potential and so much value. Obviously, you can make life-changing money. It's a really, really big deal. It's changed my life. I'm sure it's changed plenty of your lives that are watching this too. But the issue is there's 13,000 coins. There's regulation. There's all these market cycles. There's, do I trade it? Do I invest it? Do I use leverage? Do I trade options? Like, people are like completely confused about what the heck to do. And we've found a really great mix of a few different strategies that have like produced great returns, far exceeding what Bitcoin does on an annual basis. And it's been thus far, that's what we've been able to do, and a lot of people are obviously getting value from it. So like, it really started from, and I think those are the types of businesses when you have a pain yourself and have like a desire yourself, and then you create something. If you can have that fuel and help others too, that's huge. And that's actually how both my businesses started. Was from like struggles and desires that I had myself. Once I had overcame that, like, we opened it up to other people. So yeah, did that answer your question?
Perfect.
There?
Yeah. Okay. And we're gonna link all your stuff down below as well, even the Instagram. Check him out at Jeff Seckinger. And it's Instagram. You got a YouTube channel. Then we'll link your funds and your inner coaching, inner circles. Anything else you want to add, or any sort of closing or parting messages for the audience?
Yeah, I actually just spoke at an Ecom event, I don't know, 6 days ago, I guess, in Texas. And one of the things that kind of resonated with most of them when I was speaking was that you got to realize, you're probably getting sucked into crypto right now, and you also probably run a business, right? So you got to realize that there's only so many directions that you could put your time and energy, right? So one of the most difficult things that people can like wrap their head around is opportunity cost. So if you're spending all your time researching meme coins and swapping on PancakeSwap and then leverage trading on Bybit, and you're trying to figure out this whole thing of crypto, well, how much is that costing you in your business, right? It's probably a significant opportunity cost, and I know this from seeing other people doing this. So I would really caution you to look at where you're spending your time. If you do love crypto, that's awesome. If you love it so much, maybe you should go like pursue it full time, and you can maybe mix it with ecom, right? But if it's taking up so much of your time, just like dollar cost average the market, which means that you're buying over time. It uses time diversification, where you can literally just set it up on Coinbase or Binance, and it will literally buy every single day. Or Swan Bitcoin, if you just want to buy Bitcoin, that's cool too. You literally set up to buy every single day $10, or every week $10, or every month $100, whatever you can afford. And that's just a way to passively invest, to store value, because you're working for value. We should probably store it somewhere where we're not losing at least 3% a year. It's likely to be much higher with how much money we just printed. And just passively invest. either that or hand it over to someone that's actually managing it actively and does obviously a good job and has a good track record, right? So I think those are the biggest, closing remarks I would leave with is like, if you're spending way too much time trying to pick the next home run meme coin, you got to ask yourself, where is that costing you? Because again, there's only so much time and energy you can spend in one direction.
Jeff, thanks so much for coming on the channel today. A lot of value dropped there, and I'm sure the audience will get a lot of value from it. I certainly did, and I think it's one of those videos you have to go back and watch several times as well, because Jeff actually dropped a lot of value in there. So thanks very much for joining the channel. Yeah. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And hopefully to have you back on soon as well.
Yeah, for sure.
All the best. Take care, guys. Chat to you soon.